Hi, my name is Alexander Nietzsche. I am a current grad student at the University of Denver. I'm in the Master's Marketing program, and the session I attended for South by Southwest today was AI and Productivity, a workplace love story. This was given by Paige Bailey, who works with Google's DeepMind and their AI development, and then also Yatunde Dada, who works for Quantum Black and AI by McKinsey. Now, overall, this lecture was really able to give me a comprehensive overview of just the huge growth and impact generative AI has had just generally, but also with workplace productivity as it implies. This kind of started off the lecture talking about how 2023 especially had just been so impacted by generative AI to the point where it was labeled the year of generative AI. And that was really highlighted, as they talked about, by OpenAI's valuation skyrocketing from like 23 billion all the way to 80 billion, and then over a dozen startups for AI startups specifically that are now valued at over $1 billion. And so it just was able to show through different graphics and stuff as well that through this like technological change, how just different industries are impacted, some higher than others. But it really was amazing just to see like the use of it and how much it's evolved, even past my own knowledge. I've been doing my own research, trying to keep up with the articles and the magazines, but really actually being able to see the more technical side of how it's evolved and the coding aspect really was kind of mind blowing us to just see how the differences it all makes when you can have to work with the technical side, not just from the user side. But it also really helped me understand where a lot of the developments came from in AI, why it was able to move so fast, how the code is able to build on itself, and how these models are able to learn more effectively. And now, after kind of going through the data points, I feel like I'm able to better understand why. Now, because AI was such a huge thing, so generative AI in 2023, a lot of the demand for it they mentioned has plateaued. So it went from this huge thing to 100 million users within a few months to they're growing about like 12% now with like monthly, which is still fantastic growth rate, but there's definitely is plateaued. It's not this huge spiking industry that it was last year. But even then, it still is used by 90%, 92% of Fortune 500 companies. And I'm assuming that number is only going to go up, not down. And they really talked about how that this productivity impact and that the impact that generative AI was able to have and could potentially have ended up in the hundreds of billions for most industries, with the main ones that benefited being tech, retail, and banking. This was all pretty interesting, but the four main kind of ways that the speakers really wanted to emphasize that generative AI has been used or can be used to boost productivity was through these kind of four methods. So the first one was talking about personalizing outputs based on user history. So the first bit when they talked about this was a lot more coding heavy, talked about the tokens, what they mean, how it gathers data to represent different things and kind of work through in order to make everything flow together. Well, it was interesting to learn about that. I could tell it was a little more coding based and for people who are more computer science professionals. However, it was still a useful idea, being able to have a personalized output based on your history, how you've interacted with the AI, what you know you want from it. So, especially from a marketing perspective, being able to put your own voice, the brand's voice specifically, of whoever you're working for, into it. So it already knows to type, can already save you so much work with generative AI. And I'm really excited to see that if this can really happen, be implemented, and the prompts are able to carry over and history to be remembered, I really think it could help speed up productivity and just the effectiveness of a lot of workers. Now, the second use it talked about was interpreting images in video. Now, this isn't what I originally thought they meant. Originally, I thought they just meant generating photos or videos, but they actually showed how AI was able to analyze different photos and videos so you could better understand what was going on. So the example they gave us is there was a code that was wrong. It had about 3 bugs in it, they said. And so they submitted the code to the AI, but they also showed a video of the AI of like the code. So they ran the code and it showed the errors. And so they submitted that video alongside the code. And based on actually being able to see the error alongside the code, it was able to identify all 3 distinct bugs and fix it, which I think is a huge application for something to be able to go over and manage it. Because if it's able to do that with things as complex as code, being able to go through different documents and being able to interpret and understand it even better, especially with photos and images, can only hugely expand the productivity potential for that. Now, the third idea they talked about was being able to follow detailed instructions. Now, this one's been a lot more implemented in recent time because that's mostly how people, especially myself, use ChatGPT. Being able to give a generative AI detailed instructions so that it can understand exactly what you need. This can really help with a lot of more mundane tasks, just like trying to type out copy or organize stuff, which can really also help productivity since workers don't have to worry about that as much or place as much emphasis, time, or effort on things like that. And so finally, the last point they also made was changing how new software gets built. And so this again was more coding heavy. They talked about how being able to have this data and this AI helping with developing future ones was able to build and more advanced software a lot faster, which obviously would not only help with productivity, but also as the softwares are able to learn and build upon each other. It makes coding and just AI and a lot of different features that were previously kind of off limits or more only for computer science specialists, it makes it a lot more accessible in general. Now, overall, I found this lecture extremely useful and interesting. I've been studying this topic for quite a while, especially over the year and with the magazines we've been creating for this class. However, being able to actually kind of see the numbers fully out, especially now that we're past 2023, the year's been, and seeing just such the huge impact that generative AI had on the whole world really was eye opening and got me honestly a lot more excited about the potential that it has. And I definitely think it's going to boost workplace productivity. I know using it has already boosted my productivity. I'm able to handle a lot bigger workload because of it, and so I expect that this only gets easier and is able to expand more of what it can do and what tasks it can help me with or take over. And so yeah, that's what I was able to take away. I'm excited to see how this technology grows. It's already impacted business in a great way, in my opinion, and yeah, it's exciting to see where this will go.